Alexa, play Instrumental Christmas.
The station is Instrumental Christmas on Amazon Music.
Alexa, turn up the volume. I'm gonna wait for people to hop on. See if anybody hops in. If they do, great. If they don't, that's okay too. So I hope everybody is doing well. Hey, Lindsay, I figured I'd give a little more time just so that way people can come in and say hey and so on. But I'd also talk a little bit about what was behind me kind of posting all of this in the first place. So let me just go into the Zoom here. Yeah, that's where I need to be. Hey, Shannon, how are you? So I have my trusty tarot cards. Interestingly enough, I'm just going to mention this. We got a shipment of different tarot and oracle cards in the studio. Studio is actually coming along really, really nicely. If you're local, definitely want to check it out. We're usually there on weekends. We have, an area for reading. We have an area for doing our healing work, and we also have a small retail area with crystals and cards and oils and candles and smudge sticks and all sorts of stuff. So I'm really pleased in terms of how things have been turning out with where we are and good stuff. Wickford, I think, is a great spot for us. So just going to give it a few more minutes. I'm just shuffling in case, well, I do feel like there's probably going to be a need to pull some cards. You never know. So like I said, if people are catching this as a replay, just do #replay. As one card goes flying out, and that's the Fool. What do you know? All right. So we are right now in the middle of a lot of craziness. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that we are in the middle, actually, of a season of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 portals and a Mercury retrograde. Hey there, Patty. So 4 portals between 12/12 and 1/1, and also Mercury retrograde during the entire time. No wonder people are feeling off. No wonder people are feeling like they're just not in a good headspace. And that was one of the reasons as to why I wanted to come on and talk about it, because the other day I did a quick, actually, I think I did it on Instagram. So I didn't necessarily do it on Facebook, but I posted the link. And the whole reading is also on our YouTube site under Tori McNally. But I've been feeling, let me take a step back. I tend to find myself struggling around the holidays to begin with anyhow. And this is not something I've really mentioned to anybody. But it's something that I've personally struggled with since probably my late teens, early 20s. And I've found that I start the holiday season off doing pretty good, but then something just flips and it's just like, okay, I'm done with Christmas. I'm done with the holidays. Done. Um, for me, it's kind of come a little bit sooner than I expected, but I always find myself well, I should say going within, in particular, around the holidays. Um, Not quite sure why, but it's been something that I've noticed. I mean, how many of you have put up a tree before Christmas and have wanted to take it down before Christmas? That's what we're talking about. That's kind of like where my head's been at the last few years. And it's just one of those things where I know for me, I mean, it's definitely something that shadow-wise I need to dig into. It's definitely something um I need to kind of sit in meditation on and really kind of dig into and do some journal work about it. But it's been one of those things where for me, I tend to find holidays very overwhelming. And honestly, I to the point where I very rarely put up any sort of holiday decorations. So that's where some of this stuff has been coming from. And then I guess my head starts to go to other places. And I find that, like I said, I find that the holiday season is just difficult because many times there's so many people that are, how do I say this? In this day and age, we're kind of expected, I almost feel like to be happy and jolly. And I think somebody who is very much tied in with um teaching, hey Angela, somebody who's tied in with being within the spiritual community. You know, we're all focusing on love and light. And there are times, and I know I'm not speaking um of just myself. I know that there are a lot of light workers, a lot of practitioners who struggle with the holidays as well. So, I think part of it is we take on, and I feel like I wanted to really talk about this. Hey, Sandy. I wanted to talk about this as a way so people who are immersed in the spiritual energy, who have ability, who are in the process of opening up, if you're finding that there's just a lot going on and you're being overwhelmed, you know, that's something that is something that happens. Angela says the holidays are rough on me, which is hard because Christmas is my favorite holiday. It's just very lonely and isolating. Yeah, Angela, yeah. Um, I was just saying before you popped on that there've been years where I've wanted to take down the Christmas decorations even before Christmas. I'm like, okay, done. So I think that spiritually speaking, the people who are the practitioners, the people who are the teachers, the people who are leaders, we're so busy helping and working with other people, and um we get told a lot of stuff, whether we like it or not. We put up boundaries, but there's a lot of stuff that people feel they definitely need to tell us or talk to us about. Um which can be hard. So we're so busy healing other people and propping and supporting other people. I know for me, I find that really tough. Did you just see that orb? Tell me if somebody did see that orb that flew around, I would guess, my right side of the head and then disappeared. Um, where was I? Yes, okay, cool. So I'm not dreaming. Our house is active and it tends to peak around the holidays. Um, where was I? Um, so yeah, so we're so busy supporting people who do this work. We're so busy. Um, it's not so much about religion. I just love Christmas in my home, the trees, the lights, the magic. Yes, I totally agree. But then I'm just like, I get overloaded. It gets sad, it gets depressing for me. But I find that we're so busy supporting other people and we're so busy propping up other people because it's kind of our job. Um, but there's really nobody kind of propping up the proper upper, I guess you could say, which has been for me a challenge. Um, people who um yeah, Patty says I'm physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted. Yeah, it's just like I'm done. I'm done. Hey, Amanda. So, I feel like that's something that's really important that I wanted to kind of bring up, and that's kind of one of the things that has been going on with me. For some reason, this has been hitting me a little bit harder than normal, but when you're kind of sitting there and all of a sudden you're just like it comes out of nowhere and there's nobody around you. It's just you and your thoughts. It can definitely be a little bit of a challenge. So, um, I can definitely feel like this particular holiday, energetically speaking, my mind has definitely been kind of a little bit all over the place. Sandy says commercialization takes a lot away from what the holidays are supposed to be. Exactly. And they start the season too early. I agree. I mean, um how many of you remember seeing Christmas in like August, September? They're already starting to bring out Valentine's Day. Easter's not that far behind. You're gonna start seeing the chocolate bunnies soon. Anyhow, what I was saying is that right now, and I think this is probably one of the reasons as to why people who are very intuitive, people who are opening up, people who are waking up, we have 4 portals between now and the end of the year, and Mercury retrograde. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. Don't be surprised I'm a little bit quiet, but yeah. So we have four portals, 12/12, 12/21, 12/25. Believe it or not, that is also a very special portal as well. And then 1/1, you know? And during all of that, from 12/13 to 12/20 to what is it? 1/1, Mercury retrograde. So that is something that people just need to kind of be aware of. And you may find that I don't want to say use it as an excuse, but just kind of know in the back of your mind that these portals are opening up and these energies are opening up and they're almost like they're stacking on top of each other. It is kind of how I'm feeling. It's like the portal energies are going to get stronger as we get through the month. So just do what you need to do that works for you in order to really help keep yourself grounded and anchored. Um, talk to people that are, you know, in this industry, I guess you could say. If you're feeling a little bit out of balance, have a conversation with somebody. And also people who are spiritual, people who are in this business, check on others. We always say, check on people, make sure they're doing okay, and ask if they're okay. And I really feel, especially right now, with the fact that we have these four portals and Mercury retrograde going on, I feel like that's important for people to do with other members of this society in terms of this spiritual community. Okay. Um, Meditation, I think that's going to be one of the things that really, really helps people stay grounded. If you need to do um, guided meditations, do them. You need to book a healing with another healer, do it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to be, I don't want people to think that because where my head's at, it's going to change the quality of whether it be my readings or whether it be my healings. It's not. It's something that you kind of compartmentalize, um, and you kind of tuck aside, so that way you're focusing on other people and so on. But really focus on the meditation. If you need to get a healing, do it. If you need to go out in nature and just spend time out in nature, by yourself, do it. The other thing is eat grounding foods. We focus on root foods. We focus on pasta, chocolate, things like that. Those are going to be something that's important. Crystals, have them available, keep them around. Amethyst in particular. This is one I really, really like because it's a really cool crystal. But amethyst is very calming. Focus on crystals that are tied in with the lower chakras. Because ultimately you're gonna really want to make sure that you're grounded and clear and anchored, so you're able to bring in the different messages that people are looking for and you're able to work. You just might need to do more of it. So really taking time to rest, making sure you're taking time to sleep. You're eating foods that are very grounding and nurturing and are not processed, but are going to be something that I don't want to say it's going to be a comfort food, but it's going to be something that's going to help kind of keep you down and not like way up in the air. Some of the other things that came through when I did the 12/12 portal video, I'm just going to kind of talk a little bit about those now because I kind of feel like they are kind of important. And I do feel that this is something that people need to be aware of. One of the things that came up in some of the channeling that I did for that particular video is that the veil is getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and it's bringing in more cosmic energy. More visitations are happening. And if you saw the orb earlier on, I think that that's a good a good assessment. More energies are coming in. And, the other thing to mention is that people who are doing this work, you carry a high vibration. So because you carry a high vibration, you're also somebody that is very interesting to, you attract different energies. Some of them are very curious. Some of them are very much here to help you, and then some are just like, oh, what is she? Or oh, what is he? This is something new. Let's go check it out. So be careful, especially during these portal times, especially with channeling. I've heard so many people who have been working with channeling, but they're not channeling who they think they are. It's something else. So in that situation, I really feel people need to be very careful. They need to really make sure that you are really vetting the energy, um, here's the thing that I'm going to say. If you are working with channeling energy, especially during this portal time, stick with the energies that you know that you can identify the right energy signatures. Because if it doesn't feel right, it's kind of like if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. Well, in this case, if it's the right energy signature and it feels right, and then yeah, go with who you normally go with. Don't try and branch out into channeling and working with other energies at this time until after the new year. Okay. I feel like that's going to be something that's really important. It's all about the discernment, you know? We're more and more, we're like a beacon of light, and energies get curious. So we need to really vet that stuff. One of the other things that came up that I want to talk about is that there's going to be a lot of energetic alchemy that's going to be happening, especially during this time. And when I say that, I'm focusing on the idea of changing and adapting our flow. So be aware of that. So that way you know how to, if you're starting to feel things are acting a little off, or if there's something that you need to bring in, and you need to modify it, don't be afraid to do that. But alchemy, I feel like 2024 is going to be all about focusing on alchemy. That's going to be a huge year for change. So that's going to be something that people are going to really want to make sure that they have a really good understanding on, the alchemy part. And I don't mean turning lead into gold. I'm saying the spiritual alchemy. So how we change our flow, how we update or upgrade our energy signatures. That's going to be something that's going to be really important. People who are also like a practitioner in this, or just someone that's been in a while, you're going to find that there's a number of people that you might find coming to you, or that you come into contact with, that are just not necessarily understanding the energy, because this is all new to them, and all of a sudden it's almost like a switch has been flipped and they're opening up. Their alchemy, their flow is changing. So 2024 is going to be about really helping people find their flow and learn how to work with it. That's going to be really critical. So that's going to be something that is going to be happening, I feel, through the end of the year. This is a time of awakening. So we have what, 10 days till Christmas? And then you count another, let's see, so 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 17 days until January 1st. You factor in all of these portals stacking on top of each other, and this is an awakening portal. It's kind of like, here's the thing. I'm seeing in my mind almost like a lock with the tumblers in it, that when you put the key in and everything shifts and changes, and that's how you unlock it. It's unlocking people's potential. It's awakening people. It's unlocking different aspects of people to be aware and in tune with this energy. And that's why this is an awakening portal. So this is going to be really important. I also feel like there's going to be a lot of really messed up stuff that's going to be coming out. And I mean, on a lot of different levels, politically. I don't even know where to begin on that one. I'm not even touching that one. But during this time period, limit what you watch, I guess. Limit what you watch. Celestial energies. We have more energy coming into the planet, especially with these portals. And that energy is coming in and finding these portals and is coming through. So that's going to be something that you really want to pay attention to. Pay attention very specifically to the visitations, to the energy coming in, to more celestial energy. There may also very well be, there may also, hold on, I'll catch you up, Veronica. There may also very well be some disclosure stuff. So Veronica's, hey, Tori, what did I miss? Sounds crazy. We're just talking about how people who are practitioners or very much involved in the spiritual world, whether it be they are a practitioner or a teacher or just, like I said, involved, right now it's a little bit of a challenge energy wise. I'm feeling it. And so I'm just kind of letting people kind of have a heads up on some of this stuff as to maybe why they're feeling this way and what to do in order to kind of help combat some of this stuff. Because it hit me hard, I mean, I had my moment the other day where I was done. So that's kind of what you missed. Um, I kind of feel like there's also going to be a lot more flares that are going to be coming up from the sun. And I feel those are going to have a factor with some of the stuff, whether it be within these four portals that are basically stacking on top of each other, plus Mercury retrograde. I feel like there's going to be a lot more of that energy that we're going to have to try and kind of work through. So that means we're going to probably be seeing more aurora borealis. But I also feel like that means that that's a solar flare storm that's going to affect us energetically too. Um, don't be surprised with some large storms, whether it be rain or snow. Um, Interestingly enough, I did hear that there is a storm that is getting ready to kind of march across the country and come up the East Coast. So that's kind of interesting. Um, I would not rule out seismic events. I would not rule out seismic events right now. I'm not sure why, but that's what I'm feeling. Um, Also the other thing that I mentioned was um when I was looking at doing the channeling for the 1212 portal, I was seeing fire. So I don't know if there's possibly some sort of fire that's going to be happening, or if it's going to be some type of thing that's happening with the Ring of Fire out in the Pacific. But that's something to kind of let's see if that's something that comes to fruition. But the biggest thing is really focusing on the alchemy part, the spiritual alchemy, and be really good at making sure, as someone who is spiritual, checking in on other spiritual people and asking if they're okay. Because the other day, I know I wasn't. I mean, I'm definitely better now, but I wasn't. Um, and it's okay to not be okay. Um, if you find yourself in those types of situations, rely on your community. I found that helpful. Um, what else? And the other thing is also really focus on making sure that you're getting the healings that you need, you're getting the downtime that you need, that you're really being grounded and anchored and doing extra during these 4 portal times. Because, and I know I've said this before, for me, going back to the 8-8 portal. So for me, I find the 8-8 portal opens in July to some degree, starts to open up at the tail end of July, opens up more so in August, and takes us all the way through Kalangaya, which is Samhain, Halloween. And I also find that it tends to stay open all the way through the end of the year. It's just that with all of this, in particular, with the fact that we have Mercury retrograde going on, it feels like these 4 portals are really kind of stacking up on top of each other, which is making the energies much more intense. So that's something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. But do a lot more maintenance, do a lot more spiritual hygiene, do a lot more downtime for yourself, making sure you're staying really hydrated. One of the other things that I will use quite often when I'm doing different spiritual work, I swear by these. I swear by these. Emergency Immune Plus. I find this really helpful. So do what you need to do to give yourself the support that you need and be open to talking to people if you need it. Find other practitioners that you can connect with and lean on them. But making sure that you're asking if you know if they're okay. So that's something to just kind of think about and talk about. What else? Oh, one last thing I also want to quickly mention during this time, I want to touch upon manifesting, especially during this time period. You know, when Mercury retrograde rolls around, people kind of go into an absolute panic. I don't necessarily feel it needs to be that way. I mean, granted, I certainly wouldn't sign anything during Mercury retrograde. I would not necessarily be taking major trips during Mercury retrograde. But what I will say is, be careful of your thought patterns, be careful of your speech patterns. As you know, the universe is very good at kind of going, oh, what is it that you want to, they overhear you or it overhears you and then gives you what you've been talking about. So I do feel like that's something that's important to kind of keep in the back of your mind. Really be careful. And you might very well find yourself having conversations like this with your clients about really being careful of how they speak with them about themselves, about their families. And just really make sure that you're choosing your words carefully. Because you don't want it to come, you don't want certain things that you don't want, because you're saying you don't want them to happen. Does that make sense? I know that sounds a little wonky, but that's something though that I feel is going to be important. When I was shuffling my cards earlier, I had the Fool pop out. So I thought what I would do is also see what else is going on. See if there's anything else that needs to come out. How's everybody else doing? That's on. How are you guys doing? I've been talking about making sure that, asking that, people are okay. Are you okay? And people can comment. The safe space. Knight of Wands. Feeling overwhelmed, but okay. Good to hear. So in that instance, Joellen, um, really do what you can. Maybe focus on doing some breathing when you feel like you're overwhelmed. I have had some clients come in and say that they just don't feel worthy of different things, and I'm like, you are just, do things as slow at your pace. Veronica, day at a time. It's been a roller coaster since my father died last. Yes, I'm so sorry about that, Veronica. Um, and Sandy is saying I'm as okay as I can be. There are times when okay is if I say good enough, I mean we're kind of going all up and down. So sometimes it's okay just to be okay. I just want to mention that. And I know that people who have had loss, I mean, the holidays are hard to go through it regardless, let alone throwing in a holiday. So, hey, Kim, can't wait to see you tomorrow, Angela. Yep. So I thought I would see what we got. The moon, the Empress. Not seeing the full picture. Strength is behind us. Four of Cups is beneath us. Oh, the Priestess. I like that. Ahead of us. And it's Caradwin. It's Caradwin. Which, if you're familiar with Welsh lore, that's a good one. Patty says, lost a friend and just found out a friend has cancer. I'm not a fan of the holidays. I can understand that. I before I came home to Rhode Island, I think this is probably where a lot of it stems from. I was living down in the DC area, and holidays were very, very tough for me down there. I was away from my family. I was with a significant other at the time that was really not a good influence. And I think that has a lot to do with it, to some degree, at least for me. It kind of set up the pattern and some of the really hard things that I went through and that I struggled when I was down there was around the holidays, which put me into a depression. We got the King of Cups. Got the Four of Pentacles. Got the Five of Wands. We got the Nine of Pentacles in the emotional house. That's good. We got the Star. Oh, look, here's the Star card. Yeah, I like that. So there's hope. We got the Four of Wands. That's a good one. And we got the Two of Pentacles. And this is really interesting. It's all about balance. It's all about balance. So during this time through the year, really focus on staying in balance. Even if you find it really complicated, going to be something that you're going to have to really focus on with the spiritual hygiene, because that's going to be something that you're going to need in order to help get you through these four portals. The other thing I want to mention in the emotional house, the Nine of Pentacles. So for me, this is someone that has a lot in reserve. She knows her stuff. She's confident. So that's a good thing. We all have our abilities to dig deep, And to know that we have, whether it be friends or family, that we can use as a sounding board, use them. Temperance, keeper of the well. Again, balance and patience. So what I'm trying to say is, during this holiday season, for all my spiritual people, don't shut down. Do the work. Do the work to help get you through these 4 portals, through this Mercury retrograde, through this time, as people are awakening, as people are opening up, because they are looking to you for guidance. But just remember, in the spiritual community, check on each other. Check on each other. And if you're not okay, say something. You know, I felt really good about the fact that I had so many people that were not only seeing my post from before, but were actually commenting. It meant a lot to me. It really meant a lot to me. So if you're not okay, say something. And there are people that are definitely here that will help, that will listen, that will help guide. We're all in this together. We're all in this together. We just need to get through to 1-1. We just need to get through, you know, the rest of this year. Now granted, I know, hey Amanda, I know that you know, that's not something that I'm missing you too. I know that, you know, getting to 1-1 is not the be all and the end all. I mean, we still have 2024. But I wanted to at least talk a little bit about getting through this, like I said, next 17 days, because energetically speaking, it's gonna be a little bit of a ride. So just know that. I don't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. I think it's definitely going to be something that gives you a real strong handle of who you are. And, you know, you're human too. We're all human. We all have emotions. We all have idiosyncrasies that drive our significant loved ones or families crazy. But you know, we gotta work through this, and it's okay to rely on your spiritual family to help, you know? So again, if you're not okay, say something. Exactly. And I have another human inside me working me from the inside. Yes. Yes, Amanda, you have a lot going on. I know you do. I know you do. I think that people who are in this field that have this ability, in terms of, you know, working with spirit, on guiding, it's a gift. You were given it for a reason. You know, there's a reason for it. So don't shut it down. Don't shut it out. I wouldn't necessarily throw the curtains open wide and be like, hey, especially right now. But I would say use your discernment. Really give yourself the opportunity to really know the energies that are familiar to you and stick with those during this particular time period. And just be aware that there's a lot of energies that's coming in. And I also feel like there's a lot of people that are going to be going through a major spiritual, not only awakening, but those of you who are already on this path, there's a big leveling up that's coming for people. And let's face it, when we go through the ascension process and go energetically speaking from one level to another, It's not pretty. It's not easy. It's uncomfortable. That's what this is. Amanda, we all do. Sending love to everyone during this time, all in this together, like you said. Exactly. You know, it's very hard, it's very easy for people. It's funny, I'm just gonna say this the best way I can. Um, Spiritually speaking, people tell us a lot of things, whether it be a client that plops themselves down in front of us and basically uses us as their therapist, or even spirit that has messages for us to tell the person that plopped themselves down in front of us. It's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes we find ourselves so busy propping everybody else up, we don't necessarily focus on ourselves. So, what I'm going to ask is people to please really do what you can to focus on yourself, to help yourself through this time period, through the end of the year. Do something that makes your heart sing. When's the last time you've done that? And be realistic. There's always going to be shadow work that we have to do. There's always going to be journaling and understanding about what makes us tick and why we are the way we are. But in this time, for now, do what you need to do in order to help you get through this time period with these 4 portals and the Mercury retrograde. Okay. If anybody needs anything from me, let me know. If anybody wants to talk, let me know. I found talking definitely helpful. But you also have to do the work. I'm doing my best. And you know what, Patty? All you can do is your best. We're human. You know, we're human. But try and spend more time, downtime to give yourself what you need in order to be able to get through stuff, process stuff. Patience. Have patience with yourself. That's the thing. You know, in this day and age, we're running everywhere. How many of you are finding that last week was like September? Time has flown. I think time has gotten faster. And I feel like this is something that is only going to continue to happen. So this is going to be something that people are definitely going to notice. And I feel like this is also going to be something that especially practitioners and people on the path are going to have to kind of figure out how to work with it. You know, time is a funny thing. And there's a lot more stuff about time that I plan to talk about in 2024. There's also some new things that I'm going to be rolling out in 2024, like a program called Superhuman. And some other things that are coming out too. So I'm excited. I'm excited about creating things. I'm excited about spending downtime, but I also need to balance it with doing my work, doing my shadow work, doing my work that maybe I just don't want to do, which I know I need to do, stuff like that. So in this day and age where we're going 100 million miles an hour, take care. And I hope everyone has a good holiday. Joellen, I'm looking forward to connecting more in 20. I am too. I am too. You know, Joellen, we've actually had a lot of cool stuff going on. in the studio, and now that we have stuff there and events there, energetically speaking, the studio has a really nice feel to it. So it's one of those things where we have people that will just come in and be like, I feel so much better, you know? So that's something to kind of, you know, think about. Allow yourself to go to different places where you know the energy is going to help revive you, is going to help recharge you. Take that time. So I'm going to leave you with a card, and I feel like the card that I need to leave you with is the Two of Pentacles. Balance, stability, patience. But notice the infinity sign. So as we go into 2024, know that you're worthy. Know that you're worthy of taking time for yourself and doing things for yourself, to be a better human. And if you need to take a break, then do it. Okay. The other card I want that pops out to me is, like I said, the Nine of Pentacles. You have a lot more in reserves than you think you do. And this is a woman that stands in her power. So keep this in mind. I'm going to say keep these two in mind. And look how they are just so total polar opposite. But together they work together. You know, kind of interesting. All right, folks, take care. Have a great weekend. The studio will be open tomorrow. I'm pulling my calendar out. So the studio will be open tomorrow, 11 to 1:30. The studio will be open on Sunday, 11 to 5. And then we still have some space for Sunday's paint night. We are going to be open on Saturday, the 23rd. And we still have space in our winter solstice event. We still have space in our table tipping event on the 19th, winter solstice on the 21st. And Cindy also has a really cool event that's coming up on the 30th. It's about getting ready for the new year and focusing on manifesting what you want to bring in, what you want to get rid of. Very powerful stuff. So those are some things that are going on. If you have any questions or want to book a healing or a reading, let me know. I'm happy to do that for you. But we will be open this weekend and part of next weekend. And I will be also open between Christmas and New Year's. I'll be available. So take care and have a great evening. Bye. So what I wanted to do with that was record that on my phone. So thank you for being patient. Thank you for following Avalon Enchanted on YouTube. We are also on Facebook, and we're also on Instagram. We're on Threads too, but I don't necessarily do that much with Threads. So I just wanted to say thank you for the follow. Please remember to like and share our videos. Helps us with the algorithms to be able to reach audiences further. Also, please check us out on Facebook, Avalon Enchanted. Please check us out on Instagram, Avalon_Enchanted. What else? We do a lot of announcements and things like that on Facebook. Follow us on Eventbrite, because that is where we post our events. Okay, we post them on Eventbrite. So if you follow Eventbrite, Yeah, Tor. If you follow Eventbrite, then you'll be in the know as soon as new events roll out. And there are going to be a lot of really cool things that are coming up for 2024. So if you happen to see this, and you decide that you would like to book, whether it be a reading or whether it be a healing, people who mention this video will get a 20% discount for sticking with us through the video. So thank you. And I do hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Stay safe, take care, and enjoy your holiday. Thanks.